welcome to the next video on the Garmin Approach R10. Sorry for delaying getting this video out. I've been learning more about the unit, sorting out my driving net and learning to edit video. And seeing as it's summer in the UK, it's been raining a lot, which has made it difficult to record videos outside. I do feel for each of you that has not yet received your unit. I've been asked a number of times how I got my R10 so early. I did nothing special. I just ordered online the same as everybody else. I put my pre-order in a couple of days after the first Let's Play Through video came out. But I should of course give a big thank you to Golf Gear Direct in the UK, who sent me my R10 almost immediately from what must have been very limited stock. As I've had quite a few questions in the comments on the other videos, I thought I'd start by answering some of these before taking you through Home T Hero. So the first question that's cropped up a number of times is E6 included? For me, yes, E6 is included. There's a license key in the Garmin Golf app once you've registered. That gives you 5 courses, the driving range, no online play, and it is for iOS devices only. The other question I've been asked is, does the Garmin app and the R10 work on iPhone as well as iPad? In short, the answer is yes, although on the iPad it is just the iOS iPhone app, and you can just run that at 2x zoom in. It would be really nice if Garmin would update the app to be able to run in landscape mode and make the most of the iPad screen. One other frustration I found is, having tried this on both my iPhone and iPad, the data from the range sessions do not sync between the two. One other question I've had is, can I show the video and swing recording? I've not managed to get this working yet. Whenever I try to record, I just see a blank white screen on playback. However, it does seem to have one annoyance for me, which is that it uses the front camera on my iPhone. I understand why, it's so they can show you the data and the shot replay, but it'd be really nice to have a choice of camera so that I can select the higher quality of the back camera and potentially use the slow-mo, whereas slow-mo doesn't seem to work on the front camera. So I've got a lot of questions that have cropped up, so I'll just take you through those along with some screenshots or a little video recorded from the app, and then I'll take you on and show you through and play a few holes on Home T Hero. So I've had a couple of questions around settings in the app, so I'm just going to talk you through these as I play through. As we go through, you'll be able to see that on the home screen you can choose Home T Hero, the driving range, your tournaments, and E6. Now as we go into the settings here, and the course stats, I can look back at previous sessions. As I go into each session, if I've selected my club, then I can choose my session and my clubs. I can then go back and historically view any shot, the carry deviations, and I get an overview, as you briefly saw at the beginning of this session here. As I drill down in, I can then replay this shot. I can go back to all of the data, so I can get my club path data of my distances. I can cycle through a little further and see the distances and all the data numbers, and then finally back to, had I captured the video, I would have seen it there. If we just come out of here, we can go back into the settings. One of the things I've had from people internationally is, am I able to use meters or yards or feet? So if I go into units of measure, I can change that, my distance units into meters and my elevation units into meters or feet. I can also change my speed from miles per hour to kilometers per hour and meters per second. That's about it for settings in the app. So let's get started with Home T Hero. In the UK, Home T Hero is £8.99 per month or £89.99 per year, which is done through my iOS subscription through the App Store. So from the home screen, you get to choose Home T Hero. And when you do this, you can just start playing a virtual round. And I'm going to use my local course, which I play out regularly. As you can see, you need to download each course and then start playing. Once the course is downloaded, you can choose up to 4 players. This is just going to be a round of myself, just for the first couple of holes. And you get to choose your tee box, either men's or women's. I'm going to go for the men's, and I'm going to have no wind, and I'm going to have chip shots on. I'm not quite sure fully what this does or whether it follows the description. And we're going to get started, and I'm going to see if I recognise the course and talk you through it a little bit. So the first hole at Harleyford is a dog leg left with some deep rough on the left hand side. And the first thing I noticed here is that it says that it's 8 yards above me. In reality, This location is probably about 20 yards below. I've just switched to the overhead view here so I can see my position. And if I go back to the course, the trees on the left and the right are nowhere near as big as shown here. And there's a large oak in the distance as where I'm aiming at the moment. So I've just hit my shot. I'm just not playing the clubs I'd normally play on the course here. I'm a little bit right of my target and where I'd like to be. This should leave me about 130 yards to the hole, as it does 134 yards to the hole in the top left. As I hit my approach shot into the green, as I understand it, depending on your proximity to the flag, that will indicate how many putts will be auto-taken for you. So obviously the nearer to the flag, the less putts that are shown. So let's see what I managed to do here. Again, that tree on the right-hand side is about 150 feet high in reality, and the fairway is much, much wider. So my initial thoughts on the first hole is it bears some semblance to the course that I play. But it is only a semblance. There's probably a 50% accuracy. I certainly wouldn't use this if I was playing a competition at a different course to get the hang of that course. Let's see where I end up with this one. I'm quite happy with that approach. It's a little bit away, 9 yards. I'm guessing that's going to give me a certain number of putts. Looks like it's giving me 2. So we're going to move on to the second hole here. Now what I'm going to try to do is hit a slightly bad shot because there is a mulligan feature on here. So again, this bears a very slight semblance to reality. In reality, the fairway is probably twice as wide, with deep rough on the right, and those trees down the left-hand side are much, much smaller. And I have hit a duff one certainly. So I believe that if I click on options, I'm able to take a mulligan and play this shot again. So I can hit re-hit, I believe, and retake my shot. And let's give this another go and see if I can't mess it up too much. There we go, so I'm definitely right and in the rough. I'm hoping I'm going to be penalised for trying to hit out of the rough. So I'm going to hit effectively a recovery shot here that I would expect to go about 150 to leave me a shot into the green, maybe 160. We'll see what I get. I don't know if it's going to give me any penalties out of the rough. We will find out. So it's taking 10% off there at the bottom. In the bottom right of the screen you'll see that it says power minus 10%. So there is some penalty for being in the rough. Let's see what we end up with. And that's probably about right. That's probably about 10% off of that shot. So we've now got a short pitch to the green of 70 yards. Let's see if I can manage to get it. I'm guessing that centre ring around the pin is a 1-putt territory, and outside of that is 2-putt territory. This green in reality is much larger than this. So let's see where we end up. Just outside of the 1-putt range. It certainly doesn't seem to so far account for changing elevation in any way, shape or form that is recognisable to reality for me. However, I am playing roughly the same clubs as I would play on the course, well, exactly the same clubs. So this one here is a 4-yard uphill par 3. This one in reality is fairly flat to a slightly raised green. With a lot more trouble with trees left and right. I'm probably going to be short on this one from that strike. And we have come up short. That fairway is there, those bunkers are there. And let's see if we can hit a little chip onto the green. At least we're getting to try different size and ranges here. So again, 10% power loss for the rough. That would indicate what that is in reality, which is semi-rough. And not the best chip in the world, but good enough to get me on the green. So normally for my handicap index I would get a stroke there, and I can just flick in and see that data by hitting the metrics button. And why not play one more hole just before I finish this video up. I quite like the next hole. It's one of my favourite holes on the course. This has got a lovely wide fairway with deep rough left and right, with a bunker on the left, and the bunker you can see to the right is on another hole. It's got a slightly strange curved aspect to the footage, and again this fairway is dead level on the elevation. In this case it's telling me it's 8 yards below. but never mind. And then we've got a long sloping green, which slopes front to back, with the back being considerably higher than the front of the green. But I'm happy with that tee shot. It was a nice little 3-wood, which I'd normally play there. So this should leave me a normal 9-iron into the green, which is what I'd normally play, unless I hit my driver, in which case it would be a wedge. But let's see where we end up. And here we go, so we're on. Now I think I've hit this one a little bit well. So we've actually rolled outside of that 2-putt ring. So I'm guessing this is going to give me 3 putts because it's on the green, and there it goes. That's a brief intro to Home Tee Hero. If you have any questions about this, then please let me know and I'll see what I can do. Thank you.